How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to TSUKIHIME. We are hopefully not in a screwed up position here. Hopefully we're not at a approaching bad ending of sorts, because things are looking pretty crazy. Things have been pretty crazy in our battle against Vlov here, and we got to see a whole new side of Arcuit, honestly. We got to see her in a whole new outfit, which was useful and to, not burning alive. But now she's lost it, and she's been pushed back because the heat has definitely turned into cold. But let's see what we can pull out of our ass here. The cold feels like razor blades on my skin. My body temperature is dropping rapidly. Even living is a challenge in this extreme weather. My brain's gears grind as the pressure in my skull rises. I claw at my chest, feeling like my heart might explode any moment now. I give myself 2 more minutes at best. And the horde of zombies is closing in on Arcuit, excuse me there. And despite the freezing cold, the scene reminds me of midsummer. And they're like a file of ants marching towards some spilled sugar under the scorching sun. They'll kill her. They'll tear her limb from limb, just like I did. Just like you did once. Hey, wait. What the fuck? Yet I stand here watching it all unfold from the safety of this ledge. At this rate, they'll... At this rate? And that thing is a natural disaster in the guise of a human. We never should have gone after him. It was the height of arrogance to think that we could defeat him. What was I thinking? That we could stop him from killing more people? And that we could solve this without any more casualties? What a joke. We never should have confronted him. If we had just let the whole disaster blow over like a typhoon, at least he might have stopped it burning the city to the ground. Yeah, that I wonder. They couldn't do anything. You choose to do nothing. They had nothing to fight back with. You have a weapon. Pressure builds against my skull. Thoughts turn to disarray as common sense wrestles with delusion. My consciousness turns to flee. I make no move to stop it. And there's nothing I can do. No way I can fight him. But I've done enough. Any more is insane. But I should run while I can. Just run away like a normal person. But she'll die. I stare up at the sky. Tall, frozen buildings invade my view. The people inside must have died in an instant. No chance to even manage a scream. Unlike what happened at the hotel, the pleading screams of the people there still haunt me even now. I look over at the fallen woman. The corpses inch closer and closer to her, moaning and drooling. Even now, the river of ice continues to expand, all while the vampire watches over his dominion of death with absolute indifference. My head splits from the pain. At this low temperature, my heart has to squeeze and contract with everything it's got to keep my blood flowing. Everything points to just one conclusion. Oh, come on. Every trickle of fear that sinks to the pit of my stomach churns and turns, coagulating into a mass of fury. I may be defective, a laughingstock, stupid and naive, because despite all of that, I still can't bear to stand by and watch this happen. I remove my glasses. I cover my mouth with my left hand to stop what remains of my precious body heat from escaping through my breath. I've got maybe 3 minutes. That's all the time I'll have until the fire within me burns out. And it's not that I lack motivation. That's just a realistic assessment of how long a human can survive down in that pit. I scold myself as I slide down the slope. This is crazy. I'm crazy. This is also crazy. Run away if you want to live? No, it's the opposite. If I really want to live, I need to go in. This monster cannot be allowed to exist. This monster cannot be allowed to roam free. If I run away, I'll die. If I run away, the entire city will perish with me. So it's clear what I have to do now. If I want to live, I need to kill. If I'm going to survive, I need to change. I have to kill him, right here and right now, as fast as I can. Hey, he's saying the K word now. My patience for this creature has already run thin. It dares to kill, steal, and live on without remorse or repercussion. I cannot allow it to live, not as a human and not as a fellow living creature. As long as this thing lives, it will be my prey. I will tear out its life force by the root. I run towards Arcuid. The zombies are about to press their teeth into her tender flesh. I remember the question she asked me earlier. Can I actually bring myself to kill? Whether they're truly human or not, can I kill something that looks so human? It doesn't matter now. My head simply aches. I've never gone without my glasses for this long. I've never been this objective in my thinking. In my frenzied state, I make quick note of where each deathline is on their bodies. Then I commit to memory each of my undead targets. Hands off her, you eyesores. The dead shouldn't dare to prey on the living. Besides, she's my prey. Mine alone. Hey, what do you mean by that? I cut through lines on 3 of the zombies like they were butter. Each neatly splits into 3 pieces and drops to the ground dead. It was almost too easy. With their attention focused on Arcuid, they were completely defenseless. I make no attempt to touch her. I just call out to her as I kill the 4th. Roused by my voice, Arcuid opens her eyes in a daze. She pushes herself off the ground, but the toll on her is evident from her face and posture. She's come to, she's alive, though her wounds haven't healed. It looks like Arcuid won't be able to move anytime soon. She's the one who ought to be running away, not me. Unfortunately, I don't exactly have it in me to get her to safety.
よし、元気だな。ならいい。できるなら援護してくれ。
援護ってあなた一人でやる気？っていうか正気？
正気でこんな真似できるか？いいか、俺にとってここは海の底だ。3分しか時間はない。だからその間に今度こそ俺とお前で奴を殺して終わらせる。
Knife in hand, I dash ahead, leaving Arcuid behind. I look over to Vlov, quickly calculating the distance between the 2 of us. About 40 meters. 6 seconds before I reach him. He still hasn't noticed me yet. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. 3 more seconds. I can't waste any more time observing him. I've got to end this with one final blow. My body is already suffering from hypothermia. I've got 3 more minutes until my mind and body shut down entirely. But I have at most 1 minute before my body starts to falter, and I can no longer move freely. That's plenty, though. That's crazy. It's like he's got a video game HUD going on right now, where he can just see the time remaining for his, like, 1, objective, and 2, life. I can already see the lines that'll let me kill him where he stands. He finally reacts. He shifts his gaze towards me with all of the disinterest of a man about to wave off a bug. The gigantic lance he used to skewer Arcuid is gone too. Which makes sense. I'd be worried if it wasn't. In Vlov's eyes, I'm nothing. I might as well be one of his useless zombified minions. He sees me as no more than Arcuid's incompetent bodyguard. Why stain his spear when he could just as easily crush this insignificant human under his boot? That gives us our chance. All I can do is catch him by surprise. He's already spotted me, so getting him from behind is no longer an option. But that doesn't mean a surprise attack is out of the question. He doesn't know about my eyes. Yeah, he doesn't know that we can just straight up kill him in one go. He sees a knife and thinks that that's beneath him. He would never fathom that a mere human could possess the power to kill an immortal vampire with a single strike. 2 seconds. It's my only chance. My one shot to cross the boundary between life and death. Focus. All I need to do is dodge his first move. As long as I can do that, then my gamble will pay off, and then I'll be able to cut through his lines. 1 second before I reach him. Just as I'm about to get within slashing distance, we both jump back from one another at the same time. We never even got within each other's reach. 2 factors brought us here. First, I made a misstep. The cold air concentrated around him prevents me from getting near. The closer I get, the duller my body and mind become. At the speed I was going, I'd have lost consciousness as soon as I was within 2 meters of him. One more step and it would have been over for me. I've lost the element of surprise. It just isn't possible to sneak up on Vlov and kill him. But I can live with that. Failing that ambush was something I had accounted for. There's one other problem, though. A problem far more deadly. That bastard. My rage throbs behind my temples, mixing with the headache from going without my glasses for so long. I still can't believe it. He somehow managed to read me. He must have some kind of intuition, a primal instinct to survive that would put any wild animal to shame. He should have had no reason to fear me, yet he somehow sensed that I have some method of killing him. In that perilous instant, he recognized me as a threat, leaping away without another moment's thought. I jumped back around 2 meters, but his retreat was on another level. He had to have pulled a full 30 meters back. I suppose 30 meters must be the minimum safe distance for a vampire. It's almost hilarious just how different a scale we operate on. Yeah, you need to speak in Japanese, buddy. Not whatever it is that you are speaking in. He took the words right out of my mouth. I guess we can understand him regardless. My luck has quickly gone down the drain. He'll never let me close this gap between us again. I've recognized that I won't be able to take him down, whereas he's figured out that I possess a way to kill him. From here on out, it'll be... a long-distance massacre. The cold air condenses, forming icy objects in midair. They're sharp as spears, and like bullets they fly, targeting my skull. Do I dodge, or do I try to take them? Should I waste my weapon here, or continue to conceal it? The decision is made on instinct. And the headache wrings my brain like a wet towel. My eyes hone in on the instrument of death, like the focus being adjusted on a camera. If I cut the lines, these spears of ice, their inertia, the very bonds holding them together, will be killed right in front of me. Death takes aim at my temples. I align my knife with the projectiles. Humans were once feral beasts too. We're still host to the acute reflexes and instincts we had during that bygone time. As long as I'm free to move my body as I wish, these icicles are no deadlier than a pea shooter. However, I've used up my only shot at a surprise attack. His eyes tell me everything I need to know. He saw what I did just now. He doesn't have to understand how I did it, but I'll never get close enough to do it to him. I mean, we weren't ever going to be able to in the first place because he's got that icy aura about him. We just can't get close enough anyways, even if there was an opportunity to do so by surprise. I've lost my only avenue to victory. Should I really have shown him my trump card so soon? No, I shouldn't have. But it's not like I had another choice. I had to play my best hand in order to survive. I'll just have to find something that can make up for it. I limit myself to only the most necessary movements. Even I can't get close to him. Or even if I can't get close to him, I should at least try to conserve my energy. There's only 2 more minutes left until I hit my limit. My fear is cast out by excitement. Caught in a battle for survival, my perspective on life and death gets turned upside down.
どういう理屈だ。
This shit is so cinematic, I love it. There's a brief lull in the onslaught of icicles. He owns the waves of cold air into singular points, creating a maelstrom of ice.
惜しいがただ死ね。あまり俺の胸を躍らせるな。
The frozen javelins are launched in my direction as if from a trap thrower. I slice through each of his icy bullets. With Arcuate behind me, I've got no other choice but to cut down every projectile he throws our way. It takes about 1.5 seconds for his frozen spears to close the distance between us. As long as I'm able to move my body, I can continue fending off his assault. But in the meantime, I need to come up with a plan. Vlov hasn't moved an inch. Why? There's no reason for him to hold back now that he recognizes I'm a threat, which leaves me with a hypothesis. He's frozen in place not because he thinks he can finish me off from afar, but because he can't move when he's in that state. Arcuate has cornered him already, leaving him without blood to fuel him. This freezing aura that surrounds him is more like the final defense mechanism of a monster on the verge of death. It's a wild theory, but it's one that fits the present situation. Trapped and unable to move, Vlov desperately throws accursed icicles every which way in order to cling to life. In the end, it doesn't matter if he runs hot or cold, all creatures ultimately perish when in his proximity. If I were within 10 meters of him, I'd freeze to death in 2 seconds. I'm going to collapse in no time. I'll meet my end like a lost traveler on a snowy mountain, doomed to drift off to sleep and never wake again. When a human's body temperature exceeds 43 degrees or drops below 34, brain cells start to shut down. But I can't lose myself in the details. I have to look at the broader picture. I cannot let my thoughts distract me. My duty is to slice my knife through whatever comes my way the second I see it. I do have to revise some of my earlier assumptions. Yeah, the cold he emanates spreads out in all directions. But after a closer look, I'm not certain the density is uniform all the way around. The ground seems coldest. Well, that must mean that there are temperature disparities in the air around him, If he has a weak point, that's where I'll find it. His blizzard may act as an all-encompassing barrier, but that doesn't make it impenetrable from every angle.
死の淵で主を守るか。勇ましいが限界だ。
That's an interesting looking weapon, isn't it? Is that his spear? Or no, lance, I'm sorry. Vlov draws the lance he used against Arcuate from the shadows once more. As he does, a large tree of ice crystallizes in the air behind him. It branches, extending in all directions. Oh boy. His attack interrupts my analysis. I focus again on intercepting his projectiles. There's no way I can kill all of the icicles this time. I'll have to take a hit. No, I can't let that happen. It's too soon to give up. I can't afford to take the slightest graze. Bleeding here would be death. The unforgiving cold would strip me of life before the minute was out. So I have no option but to kill. One way or another, I must. I reboot my consciousness and see the lines, only the lines. One by one, I take note of my prey, 26 in all. I devise my plan, plot where to move, where to slice and kill, and where to dodge. At the center of it all, I see it. That which far transcends all of the lines of death surrounding it. A perfect point from where the lines are born, the place where death converges. Yeah, how do we hit that? The wall of death closes in on me. But just now I saw it, a glimmer. Just as I'm going to die here, so too does the possibility exist of him dying. But I've already reached my limits. Shiki Tohno is out of ways to ensure his survival. The icicles rip through the flesh of my left thigh and the right side of my abdomen. Precious heat is robbed from my extremities. My ligaments scream as each sudden stop chews away more muscle fibers. The cells within are instantly destroyed by the ultra-cold temperature. My fingers grow numb. I can barely move my limbs. This is it. The chance at victory slipping out of sight. Whether he finishes me off or not, I'll be dead within a minute. If Vlov or Arcuit or anyone else were watching me now, they would think the same, I'm sure of it. But no one believes it more than me. So then why? It must be some primal animal instinct. Why is it that you're smiling during all of this? Oh, he's just a little crazy. An icicle strikes Arcuit in the face. Fuck, I forgot to account for Arcuit's position behind me. And it looks like it only managed to graze her, but she has one hand over her face, rubbing the spot where she was struck. What kind of person takes a hit like that to the face and comes out with barely a scratch? I'm reminded once more of just what a monster Arcuit is. She buries one hand into the ground and pulls out a massive slab of earth as easily as someone might dig through sand with a shovel. Then, as if to rebuke Vlov for the pain he caused her, she flings the rock in his direction. But he demolishes it just as easily with his lance. And there's still not a scratch on him. It makes sense that he wouldn't be killed by rudimentary weapons. And yet, after seeing Arcuit's counterattack, it's like the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. Finally, I've got something I can work with. I can kill him with one blow, but to do that, I'll have to strike him before my body shuts down from the cold. How, though? My legs won't carry me the distance they need to in a span of 2 seconds. I need something faster. To maximize my chances, I'd better approach him from an angle where the cold is thinnest. But I can't use my legs to do that. We gotta get thrown. I've got no other options. At this rate, I'll die anyway. It's no longer a question of if I can do it, but how. Brace yourself. There's only one way to get close enough, and that's by throwing, taking flight, or pulling. Shit. It's one or two. I would say two. Like, I want to say two is the way to go about it. Because we've taken flight before, kind of. But throwing is also what I was thinking about. She could just throw us. But is that what that means, you know? It's a little misleading. So I'm not entirely sure there. Let's just choose taking flight, and hopefully that is what I'm hoping. That's what I'm thinking in my brain. Taking flight. Or I suppose it'd be more accurate to say falling down. But can I actually pull it off? And the whole thing would be down to luck. I'm already aware that there's no way I'd come out of this venture unscathed. For one, the impact of the landing alone would break my bones and turn my muscles to pulp. Will you be able to bear such agony? Can't think about it now. I narrowly sliced through the projectiles as if I were cutting through my own hesitation. Those were a little too close for comfort, but I ought to thank him. That last shot has opened my eyes. I just need to take whatever pain that comes my way. I've never been particularly susceptible to the sting of death to begin with. From now on, I'll tune every last thought to the prospect of killing. I have no doubt that Vlov is already doing the same. I turn around and run toward Arcuit, though doing so depletes me of my last reserves of energy. I couldn't take one more step if I tried. My enemy is 50 meters away from me, but that's fine. Horizontal distance doesn't matter here.
Arcuit! さっきのあれ、もう一回できるか?
あれって何?
You know, up, and away. I quickly explained my plan to her. It's a short explanation. She views me with total bewilderment, but something about my expression must have convinced her.
その規模でやると私の余力もなくなるわ。それでもいいのね。もう逃げることもできないわよ。
Yeah, it's either this or bad ending. Let's see what happens. I nod, indicating I've accepted the consequences. I don't even have the energy to talk, and I'm honestly shocked Arcuate was still considering the possibility of escape.
あれでもそれって式は途中で落っこちない？私そのあたり加減できないよ。
そりゃ落ちるに決まってるだろ。だから
Even though I was supposed to catch my breath, I can't help but yell before getting to my plan. Which is when... Yeah, we gotta go. There's no time to explain. Vlov has already sent another merciless storm of spears our way.
いいから全力で手を抜かずやってくれ。やりすぎてもいい。お前に殺されるならそれはそれで本望だ。
We don't have time to dance around the issue. I take my eyes off Arcuate and focus on our enemy. Behind me, Arcuate perks up in response to my order.
任せて。私が式を勝たせてあげる。
Oh, she crazy, but I like it. I crouch down in front of Arcuate. There, I press my knees and palms flat against the ground. An unseen arm runs beneath the surface. Arcuate unearths another slab of rock just like before. No, it's on a whole nother level, or a whole different scale this time. The entire terrain crumbles and shakes as she loosens a massive swath from the ground. Up, and away, right? It's an explosion of soil, a veritable upheaval of the ground. The terrain splinters into countless pieces. If Vlov's cold is a blizzard, then Arcuate's made of a tsunami of earth. Even Vlov's deathly icicles are but droplets splashing against a tidal wave. Soon the 50-meter-high wall of earth will crash into him with the full force of 7,000 tons. Yet the knight doesn't flinch in the face of the looming calamity. He pierces through the wave of gravel with a thrust of his steel lance. Between the falling debris, he must have noticed that Arcuate, having used the last of her strength to pry apart the bedrock, was now on her knees, and that the imminent threat was nowhere to be seen among the earth and sand. Staring down the towering wave, his instincts returned to him. To be precise, they had returned 2 minutes prior, when a lone human forced him into retreat. That which he had thought was forever lost to the cold was rekindled, and he found himself regaining a semblance of his sanity. This human has the means to kill me. I know not how, only that he does. A lingering instinct of a man once whole. The intuition of a warrior honed and tempered during the Dark Ages suddenly broke free of the curse plaguing his body. The deep-seated pride of a knight built up over a mere 2 decades had won over the madness of a millennium. He understands all too well that this is nothing short of a miracle. But such things are fleeting. This delusion of the mind will end once he kills the human. It will regress to being a dream of the dead, never to see the light of day again. In a matter of moments, the human joy he finds in the thrill of the fight will be buried in a haze of frost. But that's why he intends to relish the development. He understands the enemy's intention. He'll mask his approach using the debris as cover. He has seen the human's weapon. He knows it can cut through things. Surely the human will use this wall of dirt as a door, bursting through it, and encroach on his territory. He readies his lance. The wall of dirt towers before him. Under normal circumstances, he would shatter the wall and his concealed foe with it. There is no need for him to adapt to the enemy's tactics. His preferred method of warfare has always been to offer no quarter and crush all resistance. He still has plenty of energy remaining, 10 people's worth of the finest blood. Yet the vampire remains obstinate.
それはできない。この魂を消費することだけは決して。
It is his warmth. In order to burn, he will preserve this blood for all eternity. He does not mean to make light of the human. He has already realized that the foe he faces is an outlier. He is more than aware that if the human gets too close, it will be the end of him. Yet there are things even he is unwilling to relinquish. Fully aware of his own heedlessness, he thrusts his lance forward, goddamn, using 50% of his remaining power. The giant wave of debris breaks apart immediately on impact, but that only takes care of the rocks to his front. The blow ensured his immediate safety, and nothing more. He knows that it would do little to his foe. He knows the enemy will come for him. No matter the cost, he will come. Do not come. I'm gonna come. Unfortunately, there are limits to the human body. It has no way of passing through this rain of debris. Even with the true ancestor princess on his side, some things are impossible. When the earthen waves break and the downpour ends, so will the life of the human. As long as he can find the boy, an ambush is Vlov opens his eyes. They're equipped to peer leagues into the distance. But he finds nothing. Not even a glimpse of a shadow creeping away. Could he have actually managed to kill him with that mighty blow? No. This foe would never die to something so simple. He chastises himself for thinking so highly of the enemy, yet a deathly cold chill runs down his spine. For a single second, he allowed his mind to drift from his foe. He knows that the enemy will come. Yet if he is nowhere to be found, then the knight's premise must have been faulty from the start.
Michiko.
The vampire looks up at the sky. There he finds his enemy illuminated under the moonlight. Wow. The pale blue ghost lights of the mystic eyes of death perception bear down upon him. Is this gonna work? I hope it does. Arcuid's aim wasn't just to bury Vlov in debris. It was to lob this boulder into the air. The one I was strapped to, far out of the vampire's view and, more importantly, above the reach of his cold. 30 meters below me, the tidal wave of Earth is demolished by Vlov. What remains is just him, me, and the vast open air between us. I steel my nerves as I revisualize the outcome. If I manage to do this, Shiki Tohno will lose both his legs. Even if I survive, I'll never walk again. The certainty crystallizes in my mind, or my mind's eye. But I don't let that bother me. If I can brace long enough to survive the next 2 seconds, then the result will be well worth it. It took him only a second to find me. While I admire his speed, it'll be 1 second too late. I hope so.
あれ？でもそれって四季は途中で落っこちない？私そのあたり加減できないよ。
そりゃ落ちるに決まってるだろ。だから。
Wow.
俺に道を作ってくれ。
That is so cool, actually. I respect the geniusness out of all of this. The floating rocks fall into place like puzzle pieces. A hastily constructed slide connected by ivy. We sit on the same coordinates, with only the air between us. I calculate my chances of survival. They're probably low. Before I get started, I confirm my target. My route is plotted. A one-way path, 30 meters in 2 seconds.
ショータイムだ。吸血鬼。
Oh boy, my descent begins. I plunge down the slide into the maw of death. I've given up on reacting. I can only make my decisions one at a time, 1 second at a time. During the 2 seconds leading up to my touchdown, I focus on 2 factors. Every decision I make could end in my death. When faced with such a scenario, I must concentrate on where my chances of dying are particularly high. I visualize every point that could lead to certain death. Only 2 such exist. Elsewhere, my chances of survival lie around 10%. I don't need to worry about those. 10% is more than enough. The problem lies with the ones where I have a 0% chance. A scenario where I will die no matter how deftly I perform, no matter how careful I am. Which is why I must do whatever I can to raise those odds from 0 to 1%. And last time I checked, 1 is greater than 0. So I need to sharpen my senses if I'm to overcome these 2 obstacles of death. I don't have the luxury to allocate them anywhere else. As I drop down, I no longer have the capacity to plan ahead for anything else either. What if I'm wrong and there are more than 2 points of certain death? I can't even fathom it. If there are, then it's already over for me. I don't have the strength to avoid 3 of them, and that would just mean his power exceeds my wildest expectations. Icicles appear in the air behind him and shoot forth at me, as if to smother their prey. They close in like the jaws of a beast. It's terrifying, but I'm beyond caring now. That fear amounts to nothing more than a base animal instinct. I had seen this coming from a mile away. It's the thing I feared would kill me. 10 meters. I've passed through the first obstacle. Every last one of my nerves is on fire. My muscles are tuned to perfection. I rapidly twist and turn my torso. Even though it should have been impossible for me to change the trajectory of my descent, I managed to somehow do it after calculating the angle of his weapon. The metallic object narrowly skims the air beside me. My 0% gamble pays off, and I manage to avert certain death. Only 1 second before I land. It's my victory. He's out of moves. Both obstacles are determined in the span of a second each. Now I have to kill him before my insides are pulverized by the impact of the fall. I don't care what'll happen to me afterwards. In this moment, all of my focus is on piercing his line. But if he were to have one more move up his sleeve, something outside of my predictions... No, there's no time to think. No time to avoid it. Even if I could change my trajectory at this juncture, I wouldn't waste my time on it. The time for thinking is over. If I'm going to die, that was decided the second I started my descent. This is fine. If my brain is to be skewered by ice here, I doubt it would even register it, or I would even register it. The second obstacle. The negative 100-degree temperature that defies the laws of nature and stops the human body in its tracks. My impulse to brace for a landing, and even my concerns for the sanctity of life, are left behind in the skies above. Kinetic energy courses from my thighs through to my hips, from my hips up to my back, and from there into my right hand where I swing the knife down. Now that the motion has been set into action, there's no way of stopping it. I'm a killing machine fueled by inertia. All my brain needs to do is locate the lines. Can we do it? Please, oh God, I hope we can do it. At the center of it all, I see a light, a vortex of swirling atoms, the certainty of life's eventual end, a place of pure death that pulls everything inside like a black hole. My brain may have cast out all rational thought, but it still comprehends what it's seeing through sheer instinct. If the lines are what brings death to life, then this core brings death to the origin of its existence, the end of the universe where any creature, be they monster or immortal, can be killed with a single stab. I can't say I care much for this sudden revelation. My entire body trembles with emotions that run much deeper. Having used his lance already, Vlov unsheaths his machete. Realizing my aim, the vampire readies for another counterattack. It's his final move in this game against an underhanded opponent like myself. This man is the real deal, a shining example of his kind. I don't know or care where that bar is set for vampires, but he's a killer through and through. I can't help but despise him. When he was sane, before he was a vampire, I'm sure he was a knight worthy of envy. Even if not a shadow of that man remains. But he will never get the chance to bring his blade against me. I turn, dodge, and then twist. Looks like we got him. My eyes trace his core. Did we win? Second question, are we alive? In an instant, the surrounding temperature returns to normal. The cold wave disappears alongside its master's life force, but the man still remains upright at the center of it all. Dazed, the vampire speaks to himself.
この傷は知らない。この喪失は思い出せない。この言語化できない大気の肌触りはいつか失った何者かだ。
Sorry, I was getting a drink of water. That was a lot of excitement there. I don't know what he's saying. I don't even know the language he speaks. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he's not speaking in Japanese there. But his tone is gentle. Like that of a poet extolling spring. Like he's actually, like, the voice actor is, but...
痛みも寒波も感じない。
But none of the characters can understand him. Because he actually isn't.
恐ろしいが懐かしい。これではまるで僕は死人になったようだ。
We win. We fucking win. Vlov is gone.
疲れた。
My body drops backwards onto the ground, but my heart and lungs cry for joy as finally, at long last, I begin breathing normally once again. I can't move either arm. I can't even tell whether I'm still holding my knife. I don't think you are. I don't even know where that fucker went. All I can be sure of is the throbbing in my body and my rapidly fading consciousness. And it's a blessing in disguise. My pain is overtaken by numbness. It feels like the bones in my left leg, which I landed on while falling, were carved with a saw. Normally the pain would have me seeing stars, but right now I can't feel a thing.
でも、くそ。
The miserable words pass my lips, even though I will tell them not to. I don't get any joy from having survived. I don't even feel pride in having done some great feat. It wasn't a miracle. It was nothing. After all was said and done, I just charged at him with every emotion I possessed.
好き。
A solitary crescent moon sits high in the night sky. How odd. It feels familiar somehow. Like I saw something just like it in a dream once.
大丈夫シキ？
Arcuid strolls over as if nothing had happened.
まあ、生きてはいる。
I feel more dead than alive, though. Even talking hurts like hell. You're not gonna hear me make petty complaints while I'm still alive.
もうそんな謙遜しちゃって。新参とはいえ、シキはその一人を殺したのよ。もっと胸を張ってもいいのに。
Arcuid seems to be happy on my behalf. Even I know that killing Vlov was a significant accomplishment. And yet... it's not like I actually did anything. His ice has already decimated the city. The body count will likely eclipse the massacre at the hotel by hundreds, if not thousands. This is all my fault. I let it happen again.
死んでないよ。ブローブの呪いなら全部私が防いでおいたんだし。
Hey, yo? No one died?
どういうことだそれって。
I try to fling my body upright, but my left leg screams from the motion. I find myself still on the ground, wincing in pain.
ほらほら、ちゃんと横になってないと。
それより、今の説明してくれ。死んでないって本当に？
ええ、ブローブの原理が暴走した時、できる範囲を対流膜でコーティングしておいたの。シキがブローブを殺すのがあとちょっと遅かったらフォローできなかっただろうけど。
Arcuid casually admits to having done something insanely overpowered. My mind flashes back to the fight. Arcuid had paused abruptly just before she was hit by his lance. Does that mean that she didn't do that to protect herself, but to protect the entire city? Come to think of it, it's kind of strange that I survived the initial blast of ice at all. Yet I was able to keep breathing even in those Arctic conditions. Arcuid must have ensured the rest of the town was able to do the same. And because of it, that happened. And this entire time I was only thinking about myself. Meanwhile, she was selflessly protecting the city, even when she knew it would leave her at a disadvantage.
なんでそんなことを。お前、人間なんかどうでもいいって言ってたじゃないか。
A strange wave of anger washes over me as I shout at the space case standing next to me. I've never heard space case before. Arcuid raises her brow curiously.
だってシキがそうしてほしいって言ったんだもん。
I said something that idiotic? Seriously. When? Where? Don't tell me she did it because...
なんか、お前は別。だって血を吸ったことないんだろ。ならいい。吸血鬼だろうとなんだろうと、俺たちに手を出さないでいてくれるなら、それでいいんだ。
I can't believe it. As long as you don't lay a hand on humans. She followed that? Even though she might have lost her life in the process if anything had gone wrong? I laugh at the bizarre reality of it all. If anything, I'm more dumbfounded than ever. But more than that, I am incredibly, incredibly grateful. I close my eyes. If what she says is true, then I suppose it's fine for me to rest now. My chest, which had been filled with nothing but regret, is now overcome with relief. My consciousness starts to fade away. I forget all about the pain in my leg as I slip into a deep, dreamless slumber. At least, I try to. Now, we're not allowed to have that happy ending. But Arcuid hits me over the head with a loud whack, forcefully pulling my awareness back to the land of the living.
何のつもりだ。
ダメ。そんな傷で眠っちゃったら起きてから余計苦しいでしょ。眠るのは傷を塞いでから。その方が効率的よ。
Feel like we've heard this somewhere before. Well, she's right about that. But who was the one who told her that in the first place?
アルクエド、本気で忠告していいか。
何？
あのな、あんまり無茶言うな。
This is the end. With that, I've burned through my very last reserves of strength. Just to get that comment out there. My consciousness is already in a distant place. I can hear Arcuid making some big fuss at the back of my mind, but I no longer have the energy to open my eyes.
ちょっとシキ、本当に眠っちゃうの？
Yeah, because I'm tired. Tired enough to drop dead right on this spot. I'll wake up again tomorrow, I promise.
本当に本当？それきっと痛いよ。治さなくていいの？起きたら間違いなく失神するよ。
You're so loud. I'm going to sleep, so you can do whatever you want.
そういうことなら早く言ってくれればよかったのに。
She sounds bright and cheery. Her tender fingertips feel cool against my already ice-cold skin. It's nice, soothing. Delight replaces the fatigue inside me.
戦利品？っていうか、その死骸？まあいっか。ちょうどどこに捨てようか困ってたものがあったんだ。
What was that squelching noise?
何今の感触。うお、いた痛覚戻ってきてる。めっちゃ痛い。いや、かゆい。つか怖い。お前一体。
Just as I'm about to lay into her, I'm suddenly hit with a tremendous sense of emptiness. Perhaps my shouting burned through my last supply of fuel. This time, I know that I'll fall into an uncontestable slumber.
大丈夫。悪いものじゃないわ。そげた肉の分だけならこれで塞がるわ。でも、骨ばっかりはちょっと無理かな。後でちゃんと人間の医者にかかりなさい。
Her cold fingertips part from my skin.
眠っちゃった？シキ。
Yeah, I am. It's been a while since I've slept so soundly without a whiff of fear.
しょうがないな。シキの家って坂の上の屋敷でしょ？ なんとか送り届けてあげる。
In my sleep, I only see the white moon.
お疲れ様式。それとありがとう。今夜はあなたのおかげで助かっちゃった。
Her words of gratitude float about weightlessly. I can't hear her voice anymore. Finally, without anything else to intervene, I fall into the deepest of sleeps. And that's the end of the playthrough. That is it. Thank you all for tuning in, I guess. Now, I know we got plenty of more to go, but what a crazy fight this was. Okay, so we got to wrap it up here. I am out of time, but I think we're okay. I do think we're all right. We made it through this chapter, just about. I want to say so. I made all the correct choices, I think. I don't want to look at the flowchart, so I'll leave myself in suspense, I guess, until we get to the next chapter, if we can. But what a fight. And I was really into it, guys. So much so that I was stumbling over my words, and I didn't even know what I was reading at times. I was fucking up big time, but I was having a lot of fun. What a fight. And this is still in the very beginning, I'm sure. We have so much more to go. It's exciting. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy, guys.